Paint Night Podcast is about getting to know the artist behind the painting. Our mission is to provide a platform where artists come together to create art and share their stories. Thank you for joining us and supporting the arts. And now we are audio.
We are audio?
Audio!
I'm a human, not audio.
Let me fix up the camera a little bit because I just realized your painting's a little cut over. Hello, everybody.
Hola. From the back of my head.
Good. Yeah, I'm gonna be focusing on the body anyway. There we go.
Hello.
As you can see, I'm still working on the same thing, and Toby is working on his tarot deck card. Arcana cards? Is that what it is?
Major Arcana.
Major Arcana.
Yeah.
So which two are...
I last left off with Justice and the Wheel of Fortune, so...
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, so it may take me a minute to get back into these.
What are you planning for both of them? What's the shadow thing I'm seeing appear on the Wheel of Fortune?
The Sphinx.
Ooh. Dope. Very dope.
Well, that's...
Like the idea for it.
That's in most of the major Arcana, or the major...
Wheel of Fortune ones?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder why that is.
Because the Sphinx... Oh, shit. What does it represent? It represents something I can't remember right off the top of my head. So I will go to my...
To your book of knowledge.
Yeah.
And wizardry.
The mystical mystery. Yeah, the Sphinx represents all four elements: the fire, air, earth, and water.
The Sphinx represents that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it represents the mystery and magic, or mystery and magic. Shannon? What up?
What up in the butt? Just kidding. And then is that like little light orbs around it too?
Yeah.
Or the elements rather?
Well, yeah. Yeah, they represent the elements. And also the four godheads. So you have the eagle, you have an angel, the cow, and the lion.
The cow and the lion.
Yeah, representing the four godheads, or heads of God.
Ooh. So you're going to incorporate that in the middle there? Or like a silhouette-ish kind of deal? Or like a...
Again, it's been a while since I've been on this, so I have no idea.
Whatever my hand translates it to.
Yeah, it's gonna take me a minute to get back to where I was, because I haven't really referenced much of my books and all that good stuff. Been kind of doing other things, so it'll take me a minute to kind of get back into it. And I've definitely done different things and changed my reference point, I guess. Point of view a few times since I started on the tarot deck, so there's a lot to change up and incorporate.
I always find that sometimes stepping away from things makes you think of better and new ideas. But
yeah, absolutely.
Well, also working with it too.
Well, it's
all a progress.
It's one of those things, like, you're not the same person, you know, especially in 2 years' time since I've stepped away from this to take care of other priorities and what have you. But it's perfect timing because I'll get back into it before the new year.
Woo!
Even if it's a day before the new year.
Hey, better late than never.
It's not late, just last minute, which tends to be how I roll. Downhill.
Well, it's better to start than not start at all, I guess is a better saying.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
I find that, I think most people do, well, not most people, I wouldn't know because I only live my own perspective, but in my life too, I've definitely had like years of, and still now, thinking of things, but then like actually starting them kind of helps formulate the idea. I feel like when I was younger, I definitely had this perspective of like, everything has to be perfect. Everything has to be perfect, and I can't do it until everything's perfect. And I'm still kind of getting out of that mindset. Like, I'm learning to be better.
To go with the flow?
Yeah. But there's that, like, in between of going with the flow and perfectionism. Which isn't all bad, but...
Yeah,
but it can definitely, like, hinder your progress if you let it.
Yeah, I agree.
What's up?
Ryan reminded me of one of my favorite quotes. A wizard is never late nor early. He arrives precisely when he intends to.
Nice.
And that is...
very true.
It is absolutely true. Ryan tends to remind me of a lot of things.
Those are good friends to have.
Yep. Absolutely. He is a good friend.
I feel like good friends are very important to have in a mentality stable mindset for like growth and stuff. Surround yourself by people or be involved with people that kind of help you out.
Well, yeah. A better way to, what I think you're trying to say is it's good to have people that are helping you progress and hinder. And I would agree with that.
Yellow is a pretty color. I used to hate yellow. I used to hate yellow and purple, and then I started getting into the spirituality and understanding the colors a bit more, and now I'm open to all of them. And I've kind of fallen in love with the colors I used to not like so much when I was younger.
Well, why did you not like them? I guess is a question.
I think it was too bright. It was too positive, and I was in a negative mindset, maybe. You know, because like me now understanding colors and somewhat an idea of the meaning behind them and understanding that they all have like different moods and ways of telling a story / also portraying I think it's also because I've seen much more nature now
or I've paid more attention to nature, and like colors just stand out to me vividly. And I mean, I've always been the colored type of person, but it was always like I would never wear yellow or purple or colors. In fact, I would wear all black, which isn't a bad thing. It's not. In fact, technically, it's like all the colors depending on whatever. But
yeah, but okay, so I get all of that, but what do you think of when, like, in your mind, like when you're a child,
what gave me the idea to not like it?
Yeah, like what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of yellow, like when you were a kid? Like, was it like Mom's Kitchen or something of that nature?
I don't think it
or
was
a dress
Mom.
that like a mean teacher wore or something like that. You know what I mean?
You know
because
what?
that's,
Actually, I don't think it was a mean teacher. I think it was an ex that was like, you need to wear more yellow dresses. And I was like,
you seem to be caught up on exes a lot.
I know. I am. A little bit. I mean, no, it's not only that. I'm pretty sure I probably heard something similar before, you know? And it reminds me also of my sister, Raven, which sounds bad, but I think I also had this idea of trying to separate myself from family maybe when I was younger. Or just kind of making that differentiate, like being different from your sibling kind of deal.
Yeah.
Might have been that. But then that's the first thought I had. And I was like, I don't find that very negative. But then I remember when you said the dressing, I was like, yeah, but I definitely remember that too. And it was just like, and I think my family wanted me to, I think I get hung up on people telling me what to do, because I think I've had that for a very long time, and I do associate that with my family. But which in good, like with them, it's more like I see it that they want me to be this person for being better accepted probably by other people and whatever, which I understand. But I don't know. I've just been with kind of, I guess everyone has that. Everyone has that thing where everyone's telling you what to do and what not to do. And so it's trying to differentiate that. And I think because people were telling me that, yeah, it made me go the opposite way of being like, no, fuck it. I'm going to be my own person and do whatever. Even though quite a few teenagers, we all had like scene kid days / like dress all black and be all grumpy kind of deal. So I think that's just part of growing up now, and I think about it.
To most, maybe.
Maybe. I know in my experience, yes.
Yeah, and that's...
But now I love yellow. I think it just reminds me of the sunsets that I've been fascinated with since traveling.
I can see that.
And then, like I said, I started understanding the chakras and spirituality of colors and just kind of diving more in depth with them. Now, granted, I still don't use purples and yellows so much. Like, this one is probably, you know, that tree one, actually, and people watching, whoever, the tree lady that's posted up on my bio before we start. You know what I'm talking about? With the lady reaching out and she's like a tree and it's like all yellow and oranges and stuff. I remember drawing that, and that was one of the first big and bright things I painted in a while, and it hurt my eyes when I was doing it. I think like mentally,
you also draw in the dark.
I do. It's bad. But but it was all big and bright, and I was like, this is so much yellow. I've never used this much yellow in my life. But it looks good. I like it. And a lot of people seem to respond to it well. Rightfully so. But I don't know, man. I also feel like color palettes change with time within like my art stuff for sure.
Yeah, well, I think that's just like growth of any individual. it's just more
Colors
apparent.
change.
It's just more apparent with artists if they stick with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So everybody grows. Everybody changes.
Everybody grows.
I did not sell my last painting as of yet. But I'm sure it will go to the right person.
Have you named your last painting?
Wake the Old Ones.
Ooh. So like old ancient spirits and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I like
The old spirits, the old gods. Thanks, Ma. Yeah, I think I will too.
like covering what I'm drawing, painting. Do you have any goals for the new year, painting wise?
To finish the Arcana for sure.
Nice.
But that was, I've said that before. But
It's a new year, new you.
I don't need a new year or a new date on a calendar to do that. I change when it's time. But I get it, like
I feel like when it comes to New Year's stuff, it's really like not a lot of people stick with whatever their New Year's resolution is, and I get that because but it's nice that there's a time during our years where we can kind of reflect over the past year and see our progression each year and then set goals. It's just the carrying through part that's always very tough.
Yeah, but do you think most people actually look back on it? Most people forget about their resolutions.
I feel like people willingly choose to forget them because they think there's some magic button that makes them automatically do it. It's just consistency, and it's
I mean, don't get me
with it.
wrong. I'm the same. Like
I am too. I'm trying to be better with it, but I've learned to set little mini goals, things that I can attain, and be a little bit more specific. And I'm still working on a good way for myself too, because I'm just like every other human being. I'm just a total disaster, but like everyone has their own things.
No, don't sell yourself short. You're more of a disaster than most.
Probably.
I joke, I kid. Not really.
Nah, but I mean, that's okay. I mean, I will take responsibility for whatever, and try to move as best forward as I can.
But yeah, and I think that's
that's the only thing.
more than what most people do. Most people don't take responsibility for themselves.
I feel like because if you take responsibility, you're gonna have to stop lying to yourself. And
Yeah.
I definitely come across that avenue this past year, for sure. Not even just this past year. It's just more like I've decided to be I'm gonna start telling the truth. I'm gonna start trying to do the best that I can to tell the truth. And then I didn't realize how much of it was. It's gonna sound bad. I'm not a horrible person or manipulative person, and I could be. I mean, human beings can be for things that they want, and I understand that's a big.
Confessionals.
I know, right?
Go ahead.
Shit.
Sorry.
But no, I mean, I feel like everybody has one or a few things that. I mean, everyone always has something that they can work on, and
Sure.
Everyone has that one thing that eats at them and that they're not as good at as some other people are. we all have our strengths and weaknesses, and sometimes our strengths are our weaknesses as well. Sometimes.
Oh, in your perspective, yes.
Yeah, because like whatchamacallit? Well, I can't remember where I read it, but it was talking about how your weaknesses are reflections of your strengths sometimes, and that it's the yin and yang to everything. Like, your personality and the way you are sometimes helps out, but I don't understand how that would work for some cases, now that I think about it. But I had
I can see where maybe it's the whole, you know, if you think that, you know, it's the compliment.
You know, because there's like two sides of the coin.
If you're good at, I don't know, being honest, then like a hindrance could be.
But the thing is, well, it's probably just not more in your
honest,
favor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
It's all the same thing. I mean, you know, like, it's all one, just like your perspective.
For sure.
Like love and fear, on the same line, right? It's just one is the most extreme than the other.
One is the most extreme?
Yeah. It's the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like fear and love is the
like
exact
your
same
parents'
thing.
Love can cause them to fear for you and do what they think is right for you, but could still be kind of a fear. That's
Well,
the first
fear
thing.
and love are opposites, right?
Right.
Like one is the most extreme of the other.
Right.
So they're like on they're on a linear line.
Mm-hmm.
So on one side you have love, on the other side you have fear.
Okay.
So it's just how far on that line you're traveling. I don't know, at least that's how it seems in my brain.
I remember when I found out that my friend showed me Alan Watts, and that's when I started being like, whoa, what the fuck? But about, like, it's funny because he explains things so simply, and it's like, no, that's not really it at first, but after listening to it, like, consistently, and, like, he explains it in a way that it's very simple to understand. And one of the things that was kind of mind-blowing to me was the fear and love, that there's only really two emotions that people act out of, and it's fear or love.
Yeah.
And that you can basically trace back any type of emotion to these two.
Right.
Including, and that blew my mind. And but I know there's some people that are like, well, anger is also another one, but I'm like, well, anger comes out of fear.
Exactly.
Out of doing things. So that doesn't make sense to me.
Those are the two base.
And it actually
base like feelings.
Yeah.
Love and fear. They're the base of
it's
everything.
What we react toward.
You can respond, you don't have to react. That's another end of it, but yeah, everything is derived from those two emotions. Mm-hmm. And if you have the forethought to like stop and think about why you're doing what you're doing and respond instead of react to something, you can always trace it back to those two.
How do you, what's the difference between responding and reacting?
Reacting is like a knee-jerk thing. Like, say somebody spills your cup of coffee, whatever, at work. And if you don't have control over yourself, you might react and go, "You fucking asshole, you idiot." You know what I mean? But if you
so it's
respond,
like that pre-programmed, being conscious of what you're doing, maybe.
Well, yeah, it's being awake and self-aware. Okay, so like that would be a reaction. Response would to stop and think and go, "Hey, could you be careful? Like, just be careful You spilled my coffee. Go get me another one, you jackass.
Yeah, and sometimes I feel like when people do blow up on that, it's not that thing. It's not that exact thing. It's the reaction of many things that have, like a chain reaction that has been happening throughout the day, maybe, or something in their life that's bothering them that they quite haven't addressed yet, maybe.
Yeah, and I was going to say, we never know what's in somebody's head, what they're dealing with. Everybody has
their shit.
Yeah. So like they'll be living in their head about fucking taxes are due and I don't know how I'm gonna pay this, and the wife fucking left the eggs on too long and burn them, and fucking whatever, some asshole stepped on my shoes on the bus ride in here today, and now somebody
with this coffee
so it's like just this chain reaction, or they're living in their heads instead of just like dealing with what they have to do. Yeah.
Joe Rogan has this friend that he invites on called Duncan Trussell. I've told you about him a few times before, but he had this great saying about he's like, it's much like, and I'm gonna totally murder this, but it's much like having dog shit under your shoe. Like, you'll walk around with it and not understand, like, why. You'll think everything smells like shit, but if you took the time to look under your shoe, you'll notice the dog shit and clean it off, and then it doesn't smell like dog shit anymore.
Yeah. It's also being self-aware.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that was the point he was trying to, like, make, that you can live your life walking around with dog shit and not even, like, take the
smells
time.
Like dog shit.
Yeah,
instead of going,
saying, like, the world smells like dog shit. But in reality, you just need to take the time to look under your shoe and, like, just realize for yourself that you have that power to take that away.
But it's a perspective that most people haven't been taught.
Right.
Or
and that's a hard thing to teach.
Haven't been allowed to figure out on their own. You know what I mean? Because they're usually taught that whole, well, this is just the way life is, and fucking deal with it.
And I feel like ideas come from other people, so it's really the people they surround themselves with. And sometimes you can't help that because it's family and stuff.
Yeah, if you're brought up in, and that's another thing, like, cultures are set in such a way that you don't question authority, right? Because your parents are authority. Your parents don't want you to fucking question what they tell you, because they just want you to go to bed on time so they can do what they need to do and not.
So they can get busy. Just kidding.
Just not deal with asshole kids. I mean, let's face it, kids are assholes. I was an asshole.
I was an asshole too. There should be a commercial for it. I was an asshole. Like, I think people just need to realize that they can be assholes. Because I think the people that don't think they're assholes are assholes. Sometimes. They could be. Yeah, I know I was definitely, like, I had this moral high ground-ish for a long time. And I was one of those people that kind of thought that I was always in the negative because the world was against me kind of deal. Like, subtly, but I realize now that's kind of the mentality I had back then. But it's like, I look back now and I'm like, God, I was such a shitty person. But, like, not in a bad way. I feel like everyone just kind of needs to figure that out for themselves in order to grow from it.
Yeah.
It's, and some people don't grow out of it. They still, like, if I kept thinking the same way I thought, I would be in the same exact place I was, I think. Yeah, maybe, but who knows? Or
the reality is you have to be willing to, or at least be open to new ideas, to look at things in a different point of view. Yeah. Otherwise, like, you can have all the friends in the world surround you, well, at least for a time,
or like all the help and everything.
Yeah, but I mean, prepared. If you're not willing to open up and be accepting of certain things, it's never going to change. The only thing that will change a person is that person, and it starts with an open mind. Saying,
sometimes you do need people to call you out on your shit.
Yeah, but if you're not open to it, you're just going to be like, that person's going to, like,
fair.
What a
yeah,
dick.
Like,
fuck
that's
fuck
fair.
You know.
I could definitely see that. Like, I know for me, it was, I think I was on the last straw of a lot of things, and I was like, you know what? Like, I need to change. And then I started actually hearing what everybody was kind of saying before. I remember, thank God I have my one friend, Minnie. She called me out on my shit because I was still in, like, unhappy relationships and stuff, and she was all like, it sounds like you really like this, dude. Like, you keep going back to this. Like, at this point, like, you're causing your own suffering. Like, there's no use for you to, like, make excuses and stuff.
You just like this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She basically told me that, and I was like, what? No, I don't. And
Fuck
then
you.
a little bit in my head, but also, like, that was my first, like, thought, but I kind of, like, listened, and I was like, you know what? She's right. Like, I need to quit doing this to myself. And I think it's... I'm also, and I'm still working on it because I'm a non-confrontational person, but I'm working on trying to at least express myself the best way I can.
Yeah.
Because it's hard, and like, and I still struggle at it, but, but that's okay. And, yeah, no, it's just, it's much better to face a confrontation instead of just staying in the same state.
Of the passive-aggressive cycles and all that bullshit.
Yeah. Or just, I don't know. Just not stating your truth is stating your truth is very important.
Well, to state it is one thing, which is good. Don't get me wrong. But you also have to follow that up with action. Without action, words are nothing. For
sure. You have to live your truth in order to tell your truth. Yeah. I get that.
Mom says we all have our Moments, but some have more than others. And that is true. I will agree with that wholeheartedly.
Because I know a few people, and bless their hearts, I wish them well.
And Frankie Wildchild also said that, the most difficult part about evolving as a person from a child is becoming self-aware. And it is. Like, it is.
Because you got to call yourself out on your own stuff.
Well, you just have to be... I mean, you have to look at yourself...
Realistically?
With no bias.
Yeah.
No prejudgment and all that good stuff. And, I mean, you have to own everything that, you do. Mm-hmm. And it's scary.
It's scary, and it's a long process. And I feel like that's why people don't even start. Because...
Yeah, well, and it's also... It's a lot easier not to do stuff like that.
To not take responsibility at all.
Sure.
It's easy, but I feel like that's more
ignorance
miserable.
Is bliss, right? Because if you're ignorant of certain things, then you don't have to worry about them or have to think about them.
True. Denial.
Yeah. But, I mean, we all come to that moment, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or that crossroads, I think. And I'm sure, have several moments where you come to it. Like, if you decide... I don't want to look at that. And you live your life and you go up against the wall several times after said crossroad, and you'll get another opportunity to look at it again and be like, hey, you sure you want to keep living like this?
And I feel like when you do learn certain lessons, they do pop up again. I feel like life is just many lessons that keep repeating themselves, and it's just us reacting differently toward a different outcome. Maybe. I haven't lived long enough to gain that as a official opinion.
Yeah,
because it's all similar. Like, we all deal with similar situations. Sure. I remember when I was in ROTC dealing with the leadership stuff. It's basically teaching you how to manage people, which is, I found I'm grateful I've taken it for that reason, but good God, kids are evil. And nobody likes the manager or the leader because, they have to lead and they have to do what they need to do in order to, steer toward the right way. And some people see it differently. But I remember my father was like, this is basically, he's like, unfortunately, the adult life is like this as well. So it's better to like remember these lessons and learn how to like deal with them. And if you don't do it right this time, at least like when you go into the real world, you'll know that these kind of people exist. And that's fine. He's like, some people never grow out of that.
Yeah.
But it's learning how to handle yourself better the next time. And I was like, you're right.
Yeah.
I also remember...
well, and it's also, instead of just there to teach you how to manage other people, it's there to teach you how to manage yourself.
Well, to manage yourself is... because I am a big believer in... you kind of have to do it yourself in order to lead others to do the same thing. Like, you have to live... You can't just tell people what to do. Yeah. You have to live by it, which is understandable.
It's called leading by action. Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Oh, no. But it's interesting. I don't remember why I was going to mention this thought, but I was going to mention about how I remember the first paint night with us two, just us two, not like this recording stuff, paint night stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But when we did our first paint night together, I remember I was telling you my distress with some people. And it was first nice to be able to communicate with people. I think that's important to communicate ideas, even if you're wrong, just so you can find out you're wrong.
Yeah.
But I remember one thing you told me with certain people, that sometimes people who annoy us are a reflection of ourselves, or like a reflection of maybe something we're doing too. And I remember that like instantly changed my opinion about everything almost. Like it is,
because the things that you see in others or situations or whatever that really irk you, it's a mirror. It reflects what you don't like in yourself. And it's just like, oh, and once you know that, then it's easier to go, oh, well, shit, yeah, that is something that I kind of do maybe a little bit, or, so you just take it as a lesson, and it's funny, once you recognize that, it's a lot easier to deal with, and it no longer bugs you, as long as you take care of that within yourself,
Or at least understand that a little bit better. I can't remember why I was going to bring that up, but I found that was like a really profound lesson I learned during this whole journey, for sure.
Yeah, that was definitely one of those things that when I learned it,
it's like, God damn it.
I was like, no, it was like, oh, that totally makes sense. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, it does. Sorry, I read one of your friends say that.
Hold on.
What did he say before? Oh yeah, stroke the shit out of it. Oh, wonderful.
I was stroking the shit out of it.
Ooh. Late night paint channel.
Right.
Cue the sexy music. Let's see.
Was that a fart sound you made?
No. I still can't do it as well as you do.
Huh?
Yeah. My father's gonna kill me, but when he would have the worst farts, and he would do this crop dusting shit at stores all the time, and then we used to have a nickname for him called Thunderclap. how loud he would fart sometimes.
Hey man, sometimes you gotta fart.
Oh yeah, no, most definitely. I mean, I think I definitely have that problem for sure. I know, but
What, that you have to fart?
Yeah.
I don't necessarily
Girls
think that's
don't
a problem.
fart. I'm the only girl that farts, apparently.
Yeah, whatever. Every girl or woman I've met shits just like every dude that I know. Maybe not every dude I know, but
What was that saying? Even all the pretty people shit or something. Like even all people have their gross disgustingness within them, kind of.
yeah. And okay, so like, I'm gonna throw this one out there.
Oh snap!
Just in my experience, because I hear all that like bullshit high school. Girls don't fart. Girls don't poop. Like, come the fuck on. But like, in my experience, girls are the grossest motherfuckers I've ever met.
I don't doubt
As far as like bathroom, like you go into a single woman's bathroom, that shit is fucking horrifying.
Oh yeah.
Like I am like just shit everywhere, and it blows me away. I know I'm a neat freak. Like I want to go into a bathroom and not see hair and things. Like I shave my head.
Yeah.
I shave my head and most of the time my face as well. And I shave it in the sink.
Right. And you clean
And
it out.
I clean it out immediately. Like I don't know. Like I wish I took pictures of some of the like
Shit you've seen.
worst bathrooms in the world, just like friends of mine, you know what I mean, like that I've gone and like, hey, can I use your restroom? Yeah, go in there. And you're just like, whoa, I don't want to touch anything in here. It's like a fucking it's almost like a heroin addict's bathroom. There's just crap everywhere. It's fucking horrifying.
Yeah, I know that one.
So yeah, when I hear the like, oh, girls don't fart, I'm like, bullshit. Been around this world a long time,
It's like you've never been with girls, obviously. Then.
right? I'm like, no wonder you're so unhappy. Denying yourself some shit. If you never farted or pooped, I'd be angry too.
Fuck yeah, that shit hurts if you hold it.
Yeah. Hold it in too long, it fucking hurts coming out.
Yeah. Oh, that one. Yeah.
Only the cleanest conversations on paint night.
Only the greatest quality one.
Speaking of that, you ever put your finger in your butt? I mean, by accident. Come on now.
How do you accidentally put your finger in your butt?
Yeah, you get some like cheap ass toilet paper that rips. You put a finger.
Although
in
my
it.
dad did tell us that he used to have to clean that way. Like during field training when he was in the Navy, that you would only get like one piece of tissue paper. And so all you had to do was like you poked a hole through it with your finger there to like scrape off everything, and then you put the napkin like right in there, and then you scrape everything, and then when you're done you take the napkin off and like wipe the napkin with your finger a little bit when it goes up.
Navy, some gross motherfuckers then too.
Probably.
I mean, efficiency is one thing. Put your finger in your butt, whole different. No. Like, no. Not for me.
Nah. We're just weird people, man.
No, it's cool. I mean, whatever, but. Right? Well, that's what paint night's all about. Like, how many times have you sat around
Fucked up.
and heard like people just that don't paint? Because I know most everybody that watches this paints and are artists, and we sit around and we talk and bullshit. But I love when like a non-artist will come up to me and go, "What was your thoughts behind this painting? What were you talking about?" And you know, like instantly I want to say like,
But
oh, it conveys like the blah blah blah, whatever, you know, make it artisty. But like instantly, my brain is like, oh, I think we were talking about like
butts and stuff.
Yeah, like fucking fingers and butts and like just dumb shit. Like yeah, don't get me wrong, like I'll talk some deep shit while I'm doing this, but I'm also going to talk about poop jokes too.
Gotta include the poop jokes. Unless you're butthurt about it, then you don't. What are your friends saying there? Lovely and colorful painting conversations.
Which, yeah.
Yes.
Gehrlich's like, yep, this is the right channel. It is indeed, sir. Deep shit. Yeah, it's almost like deep cuts. You know what I mean?
Ew.
No, deep cuts means like the way back. Like,
gotcha.
Like side B's and stuff like that. You're too young to remember side B stuff, but it's like the songs that nobody knew is what they would call like deep cuts.
Oh.
But we don't have music, so it's deep shit.
Deep shit.
Do you remember that Thanksgiving shit episode? Toby tried to shit out a turkey bone.
Ow.
Yeah.
Did you?
What? No. You got to eat that thing first. Well, in most cases, you have to eat the turkey leg first. I didn't put it. No, I'm not putting a turkey leg in my butt.
I hope not. I don't think that's safe.
Stay tuned. We might.
Maybe with enough donations. No.
Yeah.
Would you do it with donations?
Like, I don't know. Like,
that's
okay,
a deep
so
question. How much money does it take for you to do certain things?
To put a turkey leg in my ass?
Yeah.
A lot. I'm not exactly sure how much it would take, but I'm sure it
won't be pleasant.
Enough.
It won't be pleasant. For sure.
Yeah, that just makes my butt hurt thinking about it.
Why are you getting butt hurt, bro? Let's see. We should probably shift topics now.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe.
I want to see your butt stuff. I'm on a roll.
True that. Do you have any other ideas besides the major arcana? For
the upcoming year?
Yeah. Why not? Let's put out into the world on the interwebs.
On the interweb.
On the interwebs. What our goals are. That might be a good.
My goal is not to die next year.
Fair enough. But other than not dying, how are you gonna not die?
Not to burn myself out is what I meant, more or less.
Burn yourself out?
Yeah. Just with my upcoming
Oh yeah,
travel,
you're gonna be traveling a lot.
Yeah, schedule. Since I will be splitting my time between Tempe, Arizona, and Columbus, Ohio for tattooing. I believe it's going to be every 3 weeks I will shift. It will be musical chairs.
Woo.
But that is just, that's what it looks like right now.
Any art projects you've been thinking about?
To really get this thing kind of
Finished.
Yeah, at least.
Well, how many more of those?
The major arcana.
Yeah.
There's 22. Holy shit! It's been that long where I had to like stop and think about it for a minute. But there's 22 major arcana, and then there's 57 minor arcana. My goal is
Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm not going to be painting the minor arcana. not as of right now.
Maybe in the future. Well, then it would all be kind of different.
I would be doing the way that I foresee it.
Okay.
I'm going to be doing like the major arcana, and I'm still in the midst of like putting the books together too while I'm doing these. Those that can't see, they're all at my feet right now. But getting the major arcana like nailed down and printed out and on sale to fund the rest of the minors, if that's what people want. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm gonna kind of like leave it at that. Just leave it open-ended, I guess, to see what people want. If they really like it and enjoy it, then I'll move forward on that project and make a full deck along with a book. If not, you know, I did a major arcana, and it will be available for those who want it. But that, and I would like to have at least one solo art show next year.
Okay. That sounds like a good goal.
Yeah, and I mean, usually I have at least one a year. I've kind of been slacking here lately, but I've got a couple ideas for art shows in the winds. We'll just see.
Yeah. Major art show solos. That sounds like fun.
It's a lot of work, but yeah, it'd be really fun.
I want to try to get to a point where I finish like 2 or 3 major paintings each month, but that ain't. I'm gonna work myself up to that, but I would love to get to the point where I'm painting a lot more consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm painting a lot more and drawing a lot more now, and I see a huge shift going on, but where I want to be, I need to be like even extra untuned. But it's good. I'm getting into my own pace. I'm figuring it out. Slowly but surely.
Yeah.
I've been setting like little smaller goals to kind of achieve, because like I said, I think the problem, and this is still a test theory, and I'm just testing it on myself and figuring out what's the best way to do it for me, and everyone has their own things, but I've been trying to set little small goals that won't stress me out so much, because when I think big picture, or at least when I used to, when I would think big picture, it just stressed me the fuck out.
Yeah.
And I would get to a point of stressing out so much, I would just stop doing anything. And I would
you're focusing on the long term, the big mountain.
Yeah.
You just need to look at the little path in front of you, one step at a time.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, I think it's more important to do something rather than to do nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I've been training my mind that way to be a little bit better with that. And also to not sweat it so much and not take life as seriously. Like, take it seriously, but don't take it too seriously to the point where
you want to slit your wrist at the end of the day.
Exactly. Yeah.
I get
yeah,
it.
because I definitely had those emotions for quite a bit, but it's
I think we all do.
It's hard not to. Life is brutal when it can be. Yeah. And rightfully so.
If you allow it to be.
Yeah. And even if you don't allow it to be, like a major disaster happens, it is up to you to see the little things and to be grateful for what you have. And
which is all about how you respond, or if you're going to respond, or if you're going to react.
Yes,
You know?
I agree with that. But I know, like my dad, I talk about my dad a lot. I look up to him, but we got flooded out several times, and one time we flooded out and we lost pretty much everything. He was pretty depressed because I think he lost his job near that time too, so it was like really hard on him
Yeah.
for a second. But like, and he's told me, he's like, yeah, no, I've had my hard times, and I definitely, but luckily I had you girls, and then I started going back to the church, and I started doing all these little things, and but I really appreciated that I grew up around someone that had that positive mentality, because even the last time was worse than all the other times that he got flooded out, because he had to live with the church people for 6 months or so, like him and the family, and it took forever to recover. But he was like joking about it the whole time, and he's like, surely this wouldn't happen again. Just started drawing doodles all over the walls and stuff, but he stayed really positive. He's like, you know what, it's fine, it's gonna work out in the end, it always does. And then Gloria, my stepmom, she would always put my dad and me in the same category. She's always like, somehow it always works out for you too. Like,
because you believe it will.
Yeah.
Stay
I think
positive.
It's the staying positive and trying to be aware of what you can do next time kind of deal.
Yeah, absolutely. How to put yourself in a better situation.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got 4 minutes before Instagram automatically kicks me off, so I want to take this time to thank everybody that stopped in and watched me paint on Instagram Live.
Like and subscribe on to YouTube and our Instagram, even though we have nothing on there yet, but we will.
Oh yeah. Yeah, if you're not following Paint Night podcast on Instagram, do so. Pop
it would
on
be
over.
A great help to us.
We appreciate it. I will be putting pictures up soon of the winner of the contest for the Star Wars painting, that giveaway. My my nephew. Jesus.
Your cousin.
Yeah, my nephew won it fair and square. I swear.
He was pretty happy about that. It was pretty cute.
It was pretty cool. His brother is a little larger Star Wars fan, and I guess the morning of, he woke up and was just looking at him and was like, "You suck."
You bitch.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool, and I will be having another giveaway pretty soon, so keep an eye out for all that good shit.
And it's fun.
Yeah. But no, I appreciate everybody stopping in and watching, and I hope everyone has a fantastic New Year's Eve and New Year's Day and New Year's year. Blah, blah, blah.
Set your goals, achieve what you dream, all that shit.
Yeah. Be safe and have fun. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
And just remember, when life is brutally painful and oppressive, just remember, it's just a ride.
You might
just
have dog shit on the bottom of your shoe.
Yeah. Remember, check the bottom of your shoe. The world may not be the one that smells like dog shit. It just might be the bottom of your shoe.
So get your shit together, Carl.
God damn it, Carl.
You know that will freak out some guy named Carl in the future.
Like, what? Fuck, they're talking to me. Everyone have a wonderful night, and I love y'all in the weirdest way ever.
Happy New Year.
Take that how you want it. Yeah, Happy New Year. And I will see you soon. Looking good.
So I think I'm going to do this on her arms, kind of, and then kind of here, but I want this to be more ashy and like more burnt out and like falling.
Ashy?
Ashy.
Like
Ashy
without like putting lotion on?
Very. Crackling and ashy.
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 You got that ashy.
You got
ass.
that ashy. Yes. Let's see. So I guess we're 1 hour in the YouTubes. You want to call it a night from there?
Yeah, that's up to you.
I think it's about that time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for liking, subscribe if you can. Leave a comment if you want to listen to more butt jokes or
Poop joke.
poop jokes or life
full of them.
jokes that we understand nothing of, but everything of in a weird way. But
I understand more than her. I'm older.
whatever. I have my own understandings. But anyway, like and subscribe, and like we said earlier, we do have a paint night Instagram called Paint Night Podcast. We'll be trying to upload some shit this week. And yeah, happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Have anything else to say?
That's about it. I think you said it all.
Sweet. Happy New Year.
Happy
and
New
we'll
Year.
see you next year. Make all the shitty year jokes. All right. Peace out.